We start here. ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa says the party has a long way to attain economic freedom for citizens. He was speaking during the party's 113th birthday celebrations today. Newzroom Afrika's Juniour Khumalo live for us in Cape Town. And Juniour, good afternoon to you. It is at that very venue that the ANC president was addressing just a short while ago. And it does seem to almost go back to what we heard almost as a slogan back in the day, that economic freedom, or rather political freedom alone, is not enough. That now has to be coupled with economic emancipation. What more did he have to say?
Indeed, Xoli, the president did admit that the party, the ANC, has actually been trying to fight this struggle of emancipating South Africans, both politically as well as economically. But they have achieved the first to emancipate South Africans politically, but that economic freedom is something that a lot of South Africans are yet to enjoy. So this is the commitment that the president made, that going into 2025, this is going to be the target for the ANC as well as its alliance partners. He said this is a goal that is not going to be achieved only by the ANC. So its alliance partners, COSATU as well as the SACP, need to work hand in hand with the ANC as they try and deliver this. We know that one of the alliance partners, the SACP, had indicated that going into the 2026 local government elections, they are going to try and go it alone without the ANC. We did hear one of the representatives and SACP secretary here in the Western Cape basically addressing this gathering today, confirming again that the SACP is going to go it alone in the local government elections, but they still maintain that relationship with the ANC. But let's take a listen to what the president had to say about economic emancipation of South Africans.
In 1994, we attained, yes, you can say political freedom. The economic freedom that the Youth League talks about is something that we are still to finally attain. We are still to make sure that the people of our country have a prosperous life. We are still to make sure that the unemployment rate in our country is brought down. Abantu abaninzi apha abaphangeli, and kufanele kuyanyanzela ukuthi siyakhe imisebenzi. We must create jobs, and that is what the ANC has committed itself to.
The ANC president, they are basically indicating that the ANC still has a long way to go. This was the address that he delivered at the Attain Civic Center here in Cape Town. But earlier on in the day, the president actually started the birthday celebrations, the 113th birthday celebrations at Robben Island, basically saying that the party needed to go there to reclaim that space where a lot of ANC leaders were incarcerated for their political beliefs. We know that between 1960 and 1996, about 3,000 political prisoners were arrested at Robben Island, including Nelson Mandela, including Walter Sisulu, Robert Sobukwe, a lot of names that were arrested and incarcerated there. When they were sent there, most of them, their prison terms were actually to be sent there for life. So the president of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa, said the current ANC needs to learn from the resilience that was shown by some of those leaders, where they were able to overcome such tough circumstances at Robben Island to come out and be leaders of the ANC and be leaders in society, who basically came out and led most of the South Africans into democratic South Africa. The party also went to the gravesite of Dula Omar, who was basically the first Minister of Justice for South Africa, and he basically laid a wreath there to celebrate the life of Dula Omar, who basically was in charge of crafting the new constitution for South Africa, as well as the new justice system of South Africa that was more inclusive than the one that was racial under the apartheid government.
Junior, I can't let you go without remarking on one couple that received a special mention who were in attendance at that gathering today. The former Deputy President of the country, Phumzile Mlambo-Ngcuka, alongside her husband, Bulelani Ngcuka. And I know someone who once said the mere mention of the name Bulelani Ngcuka makes him want to go mad. And that's the former president of the ANC, Jacob Zuma, who is now expelled from the party, by the way. His shadow is refusing to leave the ANC. Earlier today, Fikile Mbalula addressing exactly that. What did he say to the letter that has been forwarded to the ANC by the lawyers of Mr. Jacob Zuma?
Indeed, Xoli, the former president of the ANC, Jacob Zuma, did write that letter to the ANC on this occasion where the party is supposed to be celebrating 113 years. He seemed to try and steal the show from the ANC celebrations and basically say that all of the disciplinary processes that were held against him and his subsequent expulsion from the ANC in November were not done according to the party's own constitution and its own rules. So he was basically asking that he needs to be reinstated into the party. We did hear the secretary of the ANC saying that they did everything by the book. We also spoke to the ANC president, Cyril Ramaphosa, just a few minutes ago here, actually, where I'm standing. And he did say that according to the party rules, they are going to read that letter that was sent by President Jacob Zuma, and they are going to respond. And he is confident that the Secretary General's office, as well as the disciplinary committee of the ANC, followed all the right procedures. So even if the former president Jacob Zuma takes the matter to court, there is no chance of him winning that case, according to the president of the party, the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa.
Juniour Khumalo, wrapping up the proceedings for us in those activities that have been held throughout the day. The ANC marking its 113th birthday today. It is the 8th of January, and so the celebrations, though, are going to go on with the cherry on top, perhaps, if you want to put it that way, being Saturday.